Prime Minister, in the time that we have available till 7 o'clock, to give us a perspective on this West Indies cricket matter. Have you been hit for six? Has CARICOM been hit for six? I'm asking. I know you're a big cricket fan. Or have you been stumped out of your crease by the response of the West Indies Cricket Board? They have issued a response that they respectfully reject the recommendation of CARICOM based on the committee's report late last year. And what happens next?
Well, nothing. All it means that nothing has changed. I mean, the West Indies Cricket Board has taken the position that they will face down. They faced down Prime Minister Patterson on the Patterson report.
Yes.
They have now faced down Prime Minister Mitchell on the CARICOM subcommittee, and the board has made it quite clear that they will not cooperate with any attempt to reform themselves and to try and save West Indies cricket.
And it appears that you are being held accountable indirectly by some suggestion that the Queen's Park Oval could lose out on a test match because of they may not get the cooperation of the Trinidad and Tobago government.
What does that have to do with me?
You're the Prime Minister?
Since when is the government of Trinidad and Tobago organizing test cricket?
Well,
and since when the Prime Minister of this country is a player in test cricket in the Oval?
Well, you are a member of the CARICOM committee.
And what does that have to do with cricket in the Oval?
Because the impression is that the interpretation
put
is
there by whom?
Maybe those involved with the West Indies Cricket Board.
And why are you taking it as a fact and putting it?
No, I'm not taking it as I'm asking the question.
No, because I pick up the papers and I see that story being fed about something with the test match in the Oval at the Prime Minister. I mean, that is news to me.
Okay.
I've been going to the Oval since I was 8 years old. I didn't know that the government of Trinidad and Tobago was involved in test match in the Oval.
So after all, so the CARICOM boiled down like Baji then?
No, CARICOM, the board is taking the position that we are a body corporate and you have no business interfering in our business. And that position of the board has a little caveat, except that we want to use all your facilities and you can give us whatever you want into cricket, but we will determine what goes on. CARICOM took another decision which has not been making the news, and it is this. They have asked the CARICOM Secretariat to get legal advice and support to determine what is the legal position with this product called West Indies cricket. Because now that the board is behaving in that way, virtually telling the governments of the region to go to hell, the question arises with the people of the Caribbean, what is West Indies cricket? And how did this board get this product, which it is marketing now, and being so bombastic in talking to the region's leaders? That is where this issue is now, because it is clear to us now, and it should be to all of us in CARICOM, that the board will not cooperate with anything. Because the last decision was, we had this committee, and the committee was made up of persons put there by the CARICOM and the board. And when the committee reported, the board has now said, we are disregarding that. CARICOM has said, we're standing by the recommendations of the committee. That's where it's at.
So essentially, from what happens next? Are you just standing around?
I don't know. I tell you one thing. What happens next is that nothing has changed, and the board has reiterated its position. It will not cooperate with the region's managing structure.
Are you prepared to take the matter further?
Me, not me. I don't put it on me. I don't do it me.
It's CARICOM.
It's only when I sit at the table as one of the leaders of the region, CARICOM is a body. I sit there as part of the heads of government of the region, and the CARICOM is a body. So I'm taking no personal position in this matter. Right? I'm one of a number of heads, and if the heads of the region understand that we are in a particular situation and take a decision, and there are individuals who are incorporated with a product which is, we're not clear on what is West Indies cricket. Right? We can't go and tell tell Massey or tell Ansa Makal what they should do with the board and so on, because we know what Ansa Makal is. We know what Massey is. What we really don't know, and what is not clear to the public in the region, is what is this product called West Indies cricket? And why is it that the heads could be saying that so and so should happen, And a handful of individuals incorporated themselves and said, no, it can't happen. So we need to know now what is West Indies cricket.
And in the few minutes that we have before we get to the top of the hour and pause for the news and continue our dialogue with you on other issues, that sounds like another consultation coming up with a whole heap of consultants and lawyers.
That's where we at.
To achieve what?
That's where we at.
But to achieve what, Prime Minister? To have a long series of consultations about what is West Indies cricket?
Because if any action is possible, then one needs to know what is the basis for the action. And whether we like it or not, cricket is important in the region and will remain an important conversation.
But in that sense, do you anticipate any further action from CARICOM?
If what you want to ask me, if I see a solution,
yes. Okay,
no, I don't. I don't at this stage. But I do not also see us walking away from the problem.
Meaning what? You don't see a solution?
Yeah.
You're not walking away from the issue?
So when
you were standing up in the middle of the pitch waiting to run out?
Probably, it happened before. When we meet in July in Guyana, the issue of the response from the board will come up again, and I don't know, I can't speak for the head then.
Fair enough, but in that sense, is it not, drastic action has consequences. Some have thrown up the idea of government saying that our venues are not available for use by the West Indies Cricket Board. Is that something that will be considered too much of a step?
I don't know, but I had said publicly before that I had become very excited when the management, the current board, had taken action that could have led to the bankruptcy of the board. Yeah. Because when they incurred that $44 million charge in India, I was hoping that the Indian board would have pressed for their money and would have bankrupted West Indies cricket. And we would have come out of that with a new arrangement, given the recalcitrance and the bombast that comes from West Indies board. Now, it appears as though that the board that had incurred that situation they have gone and made some kind of arrangement. We don't know the details of that yet, or if we ever will. But they made some kind of arrangement to deal with that debt. I'm sure it will be at the expense of West Indies cricket, and that perpetuates the survival. I was hoping that didn't happen.